Bring in retired Navy Commander Kirk Lippold, who joins us this morning. And Commander, Israel's Netanyahu says, look, the war will not end until Hamas is destroyed. We've heard that from the very beginning, but I've asked this question many times. Is that doable, in your opinion?
I think it's doable. The biggest thing they're going to need actually is the time and the operational space to be able to conduct this conflict in a manner that benefits Israel at the end. While it may be tragic that Hamas is using the Palestinian people as human shields and is placing weapons in areas where they know the Israelis are going to target and hit that results in civilian casualties, it is an unfortunate consequence of war. Hamas chooses to endanger these people. Israel does not target the civilians.
Well, the next one for you, Commander. U.S. forces were again forced to defend themselves from attacks by the Houthi rebels. It's a daily occurrence, it seems. Central Command reporting that the U.S. destroyed swarms of drones and missiles in the Red Sea. Look, U.S. forces have faced at least 106 attacks at last count in the Middle East since October. In your opinion, has our response been strong enough?
Our response has been absolutely inadequate. I think the American people at this point realize that, unfortunately, the Biden administration deterrence has failed. They have done nothing to deter these attacks from the Iranian proxies throughout the region, whether they have been in Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, or Yemen with the Houthi rebels. And at some point, the United States is going to have to start making hard decisions to hold Iran accountable. That does not mean we have to go kinetic. That means that we should first, let's consider punishing sanctions. After sanctions, a maritime regime where we start inspecting every vessel leaving Iran. And then if we have to, let's strike the targets. We have to shoot the archer, not the arrow. We have to hold these proxy groups accountable. We just fiscally, we cannot afford to be spending $2 million with every missile we shoot to take down a $2,500 drone. I mean, it just does not make sense. And while a lot of people will say, well, that's the military-industrial complex at work, that's not a reality. That's a Biden administration decision that is costing the American people precious tax dollars that could be better used by striking the places that are actually shooting at us.
If we do not take the steps that you just outlined, what are the chances, do you think, of this conflict escalating?
I think the conflict is going to escalate. The United States may be doing everything in our power not to escalate it at this point. I think that's to give Israel the time and space, as I mentioned before, that they need to conduct the operation to utterly destroy Hamas, which I think is a legitimate and achievable goal. But at the end of the day, we are going to have to hold Iran and their proxy groups accountable for what they're doing to destabilize throughout the region. That is going to take time. It is going to be an international effort. But at the end of the day, the United States must be the leader in the region to make that happen.
I think that's a good place to leave it right there. But, Commander, thank you so much for your expertise and insight this morning. It is very much appreciated. Thank you.